This Oh Steve comes to us from Taekwon Adams. I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that in the alley. I'm your doctor when in need. Want some coke? Have some. You know me. I'm your friend, Oh Steve.
Yeah.
Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the it is?
Aries and Andy. Chewing the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this. Before you was on your mama.
Aries, Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders.
Rollers, loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
He got it. That was, you know what? That is one of the best Oh Steves ever. He understood the assignment. Wasn't all over the place. It made sense. You knew there was an Oh Steve coming, but you didn't know when. It flowed to the song. Taekwon, you have just earned a seat at the Spears and Steinberg Justice League table. Tell Frank Williams to make a seat for you. God damn. I don't even want to delete that. That was so good.
No, you shouldn't. That's a good one. That was good.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The last one we did, I was reading the comments in YouTube, and somebody wrote, that Oh Steve sucked like That one didn't.
No, this was good. This is that was like on a Wu-Tang level. Right?
Yeah, son. Did it. I forget who from the Wu-Tang does that. Dude, I told you I sent out a post and Capadonna responded to me, and I hit him up and I said, hey man, nothing but respect, man. You're a legend. He was like, you too, dog. I said, hey man, let me chop it up with you. Give me your number. He shot me his number. So I got, how many people is that? I got Method Man's number. I've been cool with Meth for a minute, and now Capadonna.
Meth Man's okay with you, even when you knock his acting skills.
I don't know if he knows that I did that. Steve, delete this footage. Kenneth Robinson. Apologies. Hello, gentlemen. I would like to apologize to you both for upsetting you with my last email. Question, please prove to me which statement from my last email was wrong. I don't even remember, nigga, your last email and what was said.
Yeah, I think it was line 4, word number 7.
Yeah. Wolverine, Weapon X, eyelashes. Yo, A&A, what's good, brothers? Incidentally, when you went to your bathroom to go take a piss, I went to go take a piss, and man, I ripped a chainsaw from my ass, dude, that could have cut wood. You know,
I'm so glad I wasn't here.
I should have saved it for just a bit outside. But
I'm so glad I wasn't here.
yeah. What's up, A&A? What's up, good brothers? Haven't emailed in a while. Just listening and enjoying the best pod out. First of all, congratulations, Andy, on the wedding.
Thank
Salute
you.
to you and Tara. Okay, so I'm laughing as I'm writing this. If I get a $10, oh well, LOL. I'm in Walgreens grabbing a few things, and I'm in line checking out. 2 people in front of me is a fat chick it's a chick with a fat ass, and I'm like, damn, I'd eat that doggy style. I want to see her face, so I'm texting someone, and as I look up, I see she also has some double D's or E-cup tits, and I'm like, no, wait, does she have them big ass eyelashes, LOL? The cashier asks for the next customer, and C turns to let the person. Oh, she. You meant to say she, brother. You put C. Yeah, you're right. $10, a lot of money.
She turns.
She turns to let the person behind her know it's your turn to check out, and yep, her was like yours on Vlad TV. I started cracking up, and I thought of you. This is ridiculous in my Aries Spears voice. Regardless, I'd still up, but damn, LOL. I'm signing out, fellas. Y'all be good and keep grinding. By the way, it's kind of old, but there's a documentary on Netflix called Waco American Apocalypse about David Koresh. It's a great watch. Be good, fellas. Peace out. Yeah, listen, man, the thing about the eyelashes, you rip them off. You know what I mean? If you don't throw the away when you can throw the eyelashes away. You know what I'm saying? You just and get to work.
See, I don't mind the eyelashes as long as you can't hear them when they blink. There's some that are
They
so
get,
long.
they're getting close.
Yeah.
They're getting close.
But you know, have you never had a girl like take it and just like you feel the eyelashes? You know, she rub them on her face and you feel the eyelashes.
No, but
Feels like little butterflies on your.
really. I might have her do that, then rip them off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah. Little butterflies on your dick. Oh boy. This one was funny too. Anthony N. Racist Indians. Dog, I'm in my work truck listening to the Cracked Crab episode, and I almost crashed this when you started saying how racist the Indians got when you made that post. The slurs with the Indian accent sounded crazy. It was spot on, though. You are funny. You know, you actually inspired me, dog, because when I was driving down here to San Diego from my crib, it's a 2-hour drive, 3 with traffic. So I was in the car for 3 hours, and probably for the last hour and a half, I actually listened to that episode. And I'm telling you, I know I've said this repeatedly on this podcast, and I'm going to say it again. It gives me joy to say it because it's so great. And why I'm really also saying this is because I didn't realize until he dropped us off last night. You know, I always talk about how not everybody in a managerial position in this business either A, gets it, or B, gives a f. You could count those dudes on one hand, just solid dudes. And you've heard me mention them before. One of my dudes is Casey from Boston, and Casey runs the club down here in San Diego. And like Casey and like you, Andy, there's 3 people I know that have the greatest laugh when they laugh. My girl, Andy, and Casey. I forgot, Casey did something when he laughed. I mean, it's almost like you feel like he's making fun of you. Like, because he'll laugh and point, and it's such a, like, you just feel like you with your boys busting on each other. And the way he's got a great cackle. But I'm saying all that to say, when I was listening to the Crack Crab episode, and I know I brand myself a genius a lot. 1, because it's funny. 2, because I really am at times. And when me and Andy were talking about that, and I started doing the, and you a black nigga, kakasaka, and when I said the words, you is monkeys with perms. Yo, the way Andy laughed, dude, I'm telling you, I must have rewound that 15 times. And again, I tell you, you know you hit the nail on the head comedically, because here's what Andy will do. The laugh comes in 2 punches. There's the initial, holy shit, what did he just say? Laugh. Then Andy will give a slight pause, and then he'll double down with an even stronger cackle that goes up in volume. Like, it's almost like he got it, but then once it registers, it's like, holy. And I went, you got to do that in your stand-up. You got to do that in your stand-up. Because if he laughed like that, that means other people will laugh just as hard. And it reminded me of a moment, and I told Andy when we were in Philly, and I did the joke about how ugly Mississippi women were. I was like, and we was in the car with the Uber driver, and I made it up on that spot, and I went, yeah, man, Mississippi is where go to die. And both Andy and the driver howled, and I went, that's going in the stand-up. So because of that laugh, dude, I put that in the stand-up, and the audience loved it. They loved it. I'm a genius with that one. You monkeys with perms. Oh,
Dude, when you said it hit, right? And then it really, I don't know why, but that's how it really, when I hear something funny, like you said, it tickles it.
yeah.
And then I see almost like the cartoon in my head
Right.
the second time.
A monkey with a perm.
And it just makes me go to that next level.
I'm telling you, man, that episode, I forget which one it was. It's 2-something. When I did the Kennedy. And I said, the Dockies, and if we can stomach them, putting the silverware into their mouths. That laugh that Andy releases, and it was like a ha ha. And then when it sat, he went ha ha ha. And it was like, and then he followed it up with, dude, I heard you can't use the bathroom. I heard this, but the silver in our mouth changes. Man, that shit as a comic, That's validation, yo.
Yeah, that was fun. That was, dude. You say some shit, though that this cracks me up all the time, but it is. It's like that 1-2 when you hear it and it's funny, and then you see it in your head visually. That's when the second part comes in.
Joe King. This is lengthy. Hold on, may have to come back to that. Yeah, I think the more we do this, I'm retiring reading long emails. You know what I mean? Like my knees. I gotta ice my knees, nigga. I can't do back-to-backs. You know?
You guys got to start sending them in part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah, break that shit up, man. Brian Dixon, here we go again. Andy pushing fake news about Kamala. Of course he does. This shit about her locking up more black people than anyone else for weed, and he puts in caps, it's a lie. You are uninformed and stupid for perpetuating this internet misinformation. Do the research, white boy. Thank you, Aries, in caps, for playing that video for him, debunking this. And of course, he has a rebuttal to it. LMAO, it never fails. You always cape for Trump and trying to disguise it by blaming it on the media. The media, in caps, didn't say all the racist dog whistling on camera. The media isn't hiding the evidence of him raping little girls on Epstein Island and his dozens of felonies that he's currently fighting in court. They are reporting what's going on. We just had Sonia Massey being murdered by a cop on camera, and Trump wants to grant immunity for these same cops, not to mention his Project 2025 plan, in which some of the authors of it is in his campaign team and was in his cabinet when he was president, which is all backed and funded by the Heritage Foundation. And don't act like this plan wouldn't affect y'all like y'all said it wouldn't a few episodes ago, because it will. If you take the time and read even 10 pages of the 900 that's written in it, you will see some of the most craziest ways it will affect your loved ones and friends negatively. There's a reason the KKK, Proud Boys, and many other racist groups follow and love him. I'm not saying the media is perfect and they aren't biased, but as a level-headed person, you should be able to pick apart what's being reported and look up what's true or not. We are in the age of lazy agenda pushing and believing what random people say on the internet and going with it without fact checking. I understand that no politician is perfect or is immune to criticism, but some of the you spew, Andy, is extremely maddening. Here's another video that destroys that narrative about Kamala better. The one with Aries just played it for you. Please share these to Andy. And then he sends a link.
Okay, so where do you want me to start on this one?
I don't know, but soon.
Okay. Well, one, see, you talk about perpetuating false information and that I'm not getting it all. No, Kamala Harris, I never said she locked up more black people than anyone else, because she didn't. There's people who locked up a lot more black people. It's what she did and how she did it. I even said on it, it's when it was appropriate to what she did. When she was asked about the people that she locked up for, and if she ever smoked, she cackled, and yes, she has. She also did some other things that aren't bad. That I agree with that she did. I don't want to say aren't bad. I agree with some of the things that she did, some of the efforts that she put in. She isn't. And as I've read more, I will say that there is more to her than just the lockups that they said. And if you read more, it isn't as bad as they made it out to be, unless, as I said, you were one of the people that were locked up and information wasn't given out the way that it should have been. Then you're affected by it. The fact that you call me white boy, though, to make a statement in it,
that was black love. No. That's black love.
No. But I want to put that in there, in white boy, because you say it in a way that, like, I'm only saying this because I'm a white boy. First of all, I want to clear that up. I'm saying this because I don't take sides. I just go off of what I do read, and yeah, when I read it, and then it was 2 weeks later after the episode, and more information came out. Yeah, there was more information available. So, yeah, I didn't get it all. Yeah, you're right. I didn't get it all. 2 weeks later, you had more time to get more information. But she doesn't have a great history, great past with a lot of the things that she's done. Did I say, I even said on that same episode, I'm intrigued and I'm listening. I'm willing. I'm not opposed to her at all. So when you're saying that I said it, in a way that I was condemning her. I have problems with her. You should have problems with everybody that's running, and no one's perfect, but you should be able to question all of it. When I said that, yeah, probably. But then you keep going to this 2025. It's not Trump's policy. He has distanced himself from it. Yes, he had people that in his cabinet that have worked on it, but there was hundreds of different think tanks that have been involved in this. It's a conservative policy that they put out for everyone to read. They're not hiding this in the dark, trying to sneak up on you and put this bag over your head and call it 2025 bag, and you didn't know about it. They put it out there because they want to say this is a conservative agenda. You can complain about it. You can say what you differ about it, but you can do all that because they put it out. Do you understand what a difference it is that someone isn't putting it in the dark and trying to pass laws or trying to slide things by you, but they actually put it out what they think could be done? These are ideas and nothing that is going to be accomplished without the right people in place. Some of these things would be good for the country. Some of them would be terrible for the country.
But I will say, but when you say, and I hear you from these are the rules standpoint, these are the rules to the game. Trump can't do it. It has to be done through these channels. I hear that, but it just seems like historically, anytime white people want to people of color over, those channels they go through the channels. You might be saying that Trump himself can't put these things into place. It has to go through these channels, but somehow all the channels align when they need to be at our disadvantage.
And they align when they need to be put in the right place.
Okay, but more often than not.
No, you can't say that. We'd have to go get a graph and go more often, not often.
How long have we gone through this thing called America when black people don't always get 90% of the time? Yes, things have gotten better. Things are not as bad as they used to be. We are making strides in a lot of different directions as we continue to move along. But it ain't like we're looking that far back in the rearview mirror where there isn't a long, lengthy track record of black people being in this country.
Okay, but if you want to do that, then let's go back to, let's say, what we would say. Then if we want to go black and we're going what's over black people, we'd go with slavery, which would be the thing that over, right? We had a civil war, which we actually broke apart the country. The country brought together. Black and white people fought over this war and died for this war. So
why is every time I bring up an example, it's met with you with okay, but now let's do this?
No, because I'm saying you can't, because you do this thing where you go 90%. What if I said, okay, you're right, but it's only 89%? I don't know what the percentage is. I'm just saying we have to look at its totality and go.
Whether you tell me, I know you be. I don't know what the right word is, but I know you're not being literal. But when you say 89, 90,
Yeah, no, I'm not being literal. I'm making fun of the idea that
Right.
we just threw out this number for no reason whatsoever, except that we're trying to say it has been aggressively against black people.
Yes, and what I'm saying ultimately is I know you're right when you say, listen, Trump can't do it just because he wants to do it. It has to go through these channels. And I'm just simply telling you that, you telling me that, yeah, technically on paper, that's supposed to make us feel better, that he can't do that. But if it's something to us over, it's just amazingly coincidental that all the things line up that need to line up so that we get.
Okay, I understand where you're trying to get, but I don't agree with that.
Of course you don't.
No, I don't agree with it because I think that strides have been made. Trump ran into walls when he tried to do things. This is what made him such a polarizing figure, because he kept on running up to the wall going, we're going to do this, and kept trying to push things through. And the pushback came from the Congress. That's why if I was to really slow down and say what I want to say is, yes, your president is important who you're going to elect, but your Congress is even more important because they're the ones who pass the law. The agenda comes from the president, but the laws get passed in the Congress. You got to control your Congress.
And some of those same people in positions of power that should have Trump locked up for the crimes he's committed haven't.
But what crime? Okay, this is the other thing, though, and I have a problem with the crimes when you say.
Let me ask you this, so we can break this down easier. If not for me, then for maybe other people. The things that Trump has gotten in trouble for that have been criminal acts, right? Where he should be, he shouldn't be in jail.
No,
at all for nothing he did.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, and here's the reason why. the attorney generals that were previous to this, to these things happening, they didn't bring these against Trump because they weren't winnable cases. They moved the line. They moved the touchdown, whatever it is, the line.
The goalpost.
Goalpost. That's the thank you. They moved the goalpost so they can convict, so they could bring charges against him. This wouldn't happen if Trump wasn't Trump, which was the polarizing figure, the people can't stand. Because remember, half the country does like this dude and the other half doesn't. But the half that does, it has the most power right now in this country. They want to bring up charges because, and you got to ask yourself this question. Why did they want to, why were they, if they didn't do all the things that they did over this last 4 years, do you think that Trump might have disappeared a little bit? Because I don't think that he would have had the power if we didn't keep him in the media up front. If they didn't keep him, it's almost as if he's being made into a martyr. Because you tried to convict him, you tried to keep him, put all these charges against him, and then what did the other people do? They go, well, they're trying to take him away from us. Now we have to support him. This is why I don't like it, because it's almost like you made him the guy that is that they're trying to oppress the truth from him so that he can't help you. I think it lends itself to people that are easily manipulated by these people, by people in general, and by people like Trump, because you feel like they're trying to keep it. You want to elect him, but he can't get there because they're trying to keep it. They're trying to lock him up so you can't vote for him because they don't want him to be president. That's what they essentially have done.
Okay, but I just want to understand. So you're saying the collusion with Russia?
There was no collusion with Russia. That is debunked, and there is no case that's coming against him for Russia.
Okay, what else has he gotten in trouble for?
The one that he did get in trouble for is the sexual assault case with a woman that is very. Listen, I didn't follow the case that well. It had been dismissed before. It looked like it was never going to come to court, and then it came to court. And they found him guilty of how many charges? 34 charges. All of the is that on her case, or is this on a different case that they found him guilty of 34 different charges?
Okay.
How many people go to court and they find you guilty of 34 out of 34? I know criminals, actual criminals that have done real violence, and they don't go get 34 out of 34.
So you think it's a witch hunt?
I don't think it's a witch hunt. I think he's an idiot, and I think it's wasting our time and our country's time trying to keep up with this one dude when we should be doing other things with our time.
So when I look at DL's post and he goes, how can a guy with, and I don't know the exact number, but let's say it's 15 felonies be president of the United States. So of however many felonies that Trump has, none of those he should go to jail for?
I don't know what he should go to jail or what he shouldn't go to jail, but this is very
important that you answer this.
It's very important that I say it this way. Whether he's supposed to go to jail or not supposed to. If he's convicted of it, then he's supposed to go to jail. If he's convicted of it. The idea that the problem with it is it looks like they're convicting him to keep him from running. And if you look, and even if they're not doing it for that reason, but it looks like it, you're taking another side of the country that is feeling like the president, the person that they want to, that it's going to fight for them, is being locked up because he wants to fight for them. That's what it looks like. It's a waste of time. I think he would have disappeared into the ethos if they didn't keep doing this because they just didn't want him to run again. I think someone else would have emerged from the Republican Party that the whole party could have got behind. It wouldn't be this Trump party. It's not a Republican Party. It's not a conservative party. It's a Trump party. And I think that could have went away. I think we've done more disservice to ourselves doing it this way. And I do think that there's a lot of people who just absolutely hate him and wanted to get him.
Right.
But, if the law of the land stands and they can convict him and he doesn't get taken down on appeal, then yeah, he should. Then he goes to jail. The other idea is that he's running so that he can get elected and he can take him out. Then he won't go to jail once he gets elected because he can pardon himself once he gets elected.
Okay,
but to his point, I'm not trying to get you to see anybody in a better way. I'm trying to get you to look at things and question them. That's all if you listen to the podcast, I on both sides.
Listen, something that I want to put out there so that you guys are listening, something that me and Andy want to try, and I'm excited to try it. We're talking with a little bit of our social media team, where we may experiment, where we do this once a month, where we want to set up how do we say it? Set up
we would set up a time and people could call in.
People could call in, and then we could have a back and forth with you that we would record, so that we can give people like Brian Dixon and others out there who may agree with Andy, may disagree with Andy, and whereas I have openly admitted I'm not a political guy, so I might not be able to give the pushback to Andy that some of y'all can, because I personally would like to be able to sit back with some popcorn and watch you debate Andy.
That would be fun for everybody except for me because I'm not a political guy. I just hate both
Well,
sides.
no. Well, then let me not use the word political, but somebody that knows more than I do, that obviously has strong opinions and feelings on some of these things, and that could, give you some pushback, because based on what they may say and based on what you may say, I might be able to say something.
Okay. I'm down with it. Just don't get me wrong. I'm down with it. But I don't think of myself as a political guy. I just don't like both sides. And I hate our media because when he said I blame it on the media. No, here's what I blame on the media. Media. They enjoy this because this is what sells tickets. This is what sells popcorn right here. They love this.
I know, but let me just say this, and I'm going to get off this. And the media is a business. But at the same time, the business doesn't operate without the material. And the people that are giving them the material, they have to own up to that. So while you're quick to go, the media is doing its job in terms of showing you what they're given.
No.
Why do you mean no?
Because they're showing
It's like you're letting them off the hook. You're letting the Trumps of the world off the hook. When you go, it's the media. No, it's Trump too.
No, I know it's Trump too, but I want to hold the media accountable because the media used to be there for the people, where it was not about the ads and selling it and keeping eyes on the screen. Media didn't used to be 24 hours a day. This is something that is relatively, it's not new anymore because new is now a year old, is what new is. But before CNN, before Turner Broadcast News, there wasn't media every 24 hours. There was the paper. The paper came out. It gave you ideas that were based. You knew who was conservative. You knew who was liberal, and they gave you the ideas or they gave you the story, and they presented it in a factual way, and you made decisions. Now, yes, there's always been leaning right and left in that media, but you knew who the people were. This isn't just media. This is theater. This is theater. This is the Romans having the gladiators fight. This is what they're doing to us. And it goes back to what I say when I'm talking about the people. We are on the team with the people. We are actually fighting our government at this point. It used to be we are the people. That meant we were the government. The government is of us. But the government isn't of us. There are people who are politicians that are professional politicians. They stay in that arena forever. And we're on the people team. We're the ones fighting for our scraps so that they can make little laws and do things that were best to serve us. But now we're at the point, and this is what's happened to this country, and most countries. And this is where we go, why I lean more conservative, not Trump, conservative. Because when you want the government to pay for your school, you want them to pay for housing, you want them to pay for food, you want them to pay for everything that you have, you no longer need a God, because your God becomes the state. And that's where we're going to, where everything should be paid for by our government. But our government is us. The us in that Constitution, when they say we are the people, we are gotten to where the government, the us part of that government, is our money. We work, they take our money, and they spend it for us. There used to be a time where you could pick how to spend some money. This is changing, and they want to eliminate us in any kind of way. Now, I think there's a lot of ways to redo some things. I think structure needs to be changed, but we're blaming everything on the rich. Part of that could be part of the problem. But the fact that they're not taking rich dollars, they're taking your dollars. And they're going to pay student loans. They're going to pay for everybody to have housing. They're paying extra money they're paying money to keep people on the streets, but they're just feeding them. So you're walking by piss streets because they're feeding them, and they're keeping them on the streets. Borders are open. They're letting people in. These are problems. I don't understand why we won't adjust the problem. We're fighting about this dude. We needed to get rid of him. I think we need to get rid of him. I don't think he should be the leader of this party. But that's who the people chose, and I can't do anything about that. I think we need to regroup. We need to come up with I don't want to go into a place where we work and the government takes care of me, and I am now a slave to the government.
All right.
That's basically my
Well,
problem.
the government should take care of you because it's their job. We pay them to do that.
No.
And without you having to be a slave.
No, we don't pay them to do that.
Our tax dollars don't pay the government?
We didn't have taxes until 1930 something. We didn't have income tax.
Well, I was born in 75, so taxes is all I know.
Yeah, but you need to know what the history is and what happened.
Well, unless we're going to go back to 1935, then it is what it is.
I think after the next whatever incarnation of what happens next in the world, I think we will have to go back to that. This isn't how it was supposed to. This is there's when people talk about the deep state, go back to that. Go look at that. Go look at how we used to do business before. We didn't have income tax till 1939 or something. I don't know what it is. 1930 something. We used to be on a gold standard until Woodrow Wilson.
So we should get back to that?
I don't know that we can. I don't think that we can.
Do you think it'd be good if we did? Yes or no?
I think that our money needs to. I don't think that our government, when you talk about this,
Just yes or no?
I think it would be. We need some kind of standardization. Our money isn't based on anything, so the government can print money, and what is it based on?
Yes or no, nigga?
I said it needs to be based on something. Maybe it's based on silver. I don't know.
All right.
But you can't just have money and reel out trillions of dollars to people, and then our money, this is how you get inflation. This is how all of a sudden your groceries go from $200 a month to $400 a month.
Here.
No, it's bigger than that, Aries.
All right. I know, but I don't want to tie up the whole.
I know we don't want to tie up the whole podcast, but you brought it up, so I'm saying it. And it's not just, yes, we should go back to the gold standard. It's more complicated than that.
Thermal heat. But would you let your dog lick your sup Deadpool and Wolverine? Who's who? I want actually it wouldn't be bad to be either one. They're both badasses, but one is silly and one's just all badass. So I like the idea of being all badass, but I like being silly too. We should let you people vote and decide who's the badass. You're doing us a disservice by not dressing up as Deadpool and Wolverine for at least one podcast.
That's really a good idea, though.
Yeah, that'd be funny. See you with the wings on the face, and I'm just completely covered in red.
It would be a good idea.
Maybe that's a Halloween episode. And then he says a Halloween episode, maybe. Andy, I want to see you. I want to see your Wolverine, LOL. Plus, Andy's got the beard, so he'd probably make the better Wolverine. I love this movie. It was a man meal indeed. One of the things that I feel made that first movie is using the DMX song, X Gonna Give It To You, as its theme. I would have loved if DMX was still alive to make a cameo as one of the Deadpools. That would have been dope.
That would have been awesome.
And you wouldn't have even had to show his face. Just hear his voice and a
Well, they could have put that in there then with no problem. They should have done it.
Yeah.
They should have called you up.
Oh, well, AI, they could have done that. Aries intelligence. That's what AI should be called. Aries intelligence.
Start your new company, and it's just you do voices for the people that.
Man, we letting good money ideas go, man.
I'm still this. You know how great this episode would be right now because you can see your bed in this shot.
Yeah.
And if there was two lesbians right now, it's going for it right now.
Going for it, man. Too bad they did not think of you to do the voice of DMX while someone wore the costume moving like him. I'm so perfectly fine with voting for a black woman as president of the United States. Yes, I could give you another reason why I want to vote for her, but past that, but that. I'm tired of needing to prove to people I'm smarter than that when everyone else thinks they're smarter than that. Wait, I'm tired of needing to prove to people I'm smarter than that when everyone else thinks they're smarter than that. Andy, I understand this is a podcast, and I know you want to have a conversation on your podcast, and I somewhat understand what you are getting at somewhat. I remember in 2008 elections when I saw Hillary run for president. I had a lot of good reasons to vote for her that overshadowed the reasons not to. But then I saw that someone who kind of looks like me was running, and I was like, the black guy got my vote. And all you white bastards looked at me confused as to why that was all I needed. Then they tried to white plane to me why that was wrong. Don't tell me the presidential election is about the best person for the job and it's not a popularity contest, because you're wrong. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Brandon from the UK was a 12-year-old boy? LOL. You are telling this preteen to suck your buttery nuts, and that you're going You're going to eat some roadkill and in his mouth. LOL. Yo, it would be funny if he showed up at the UK with his moms and she was giving you a look. If he turns out to be 12, if you want to shut him up, you should lay that down on his mom's. This way, when he writes in complaining, you can just be like, yo, Brandon, how's your mom's? I think that would keep him quiet. Incidentally, when I was on YouTube and I saw a comment from Brandon, I looked at his AV. He was sitting in a Lamborghini. He's a tall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So might have to bring some with me out to the UK. It's all Aries. It's always strange when you talk about food. Sometimes when you talk about thick thighs, I'm never sure if you're talking about Popeyes or Gemma's. I'll eat either one. LOL. It always sounds like you're about to bust a nut harder over some really good Cuban food, rather some really good Cuban. Or how about I bust a nut on some Cuban while eating Cuban food? P.S. Forgive me, I was struggling with a title for this email. LOL. Once again, thanks for the great podcast.
Who sent this in?
Huh?
Who sent this in?
Thermal heat.
Okay, I have an answer to, like, I don't care if you're black and vote for the black man or black woman. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I would like more reason behind it, but like he said, you don't have to have it, and I can explain it easily, and I understand it 100%. If you're black and you want to go get Band-Aids, and there was a black Band-Aid, the Band-Aid brand released black Band-Aids,
Like it goes with your flesh tone?
you would probably just walk up and you would buy the black Band-Aid. Now, if I wanted to go buy Band-Aids, I could go and find 10 different kinds of Band-Aids. So to me, I always have a reason why I might pick this one over that one. You only have one choice.
And let me just say to this, to this, that.
How did that do? Did I do all right
Yeah,
with
no,
that?
you're good. I'm proud of you. This is where I go sometimes. White people are very arrogant. They're naive.
The naive.
They're not as sensitive as they should be. And they have a certain level of I don't give a f-. And they tend to forget that, this country has always been run and operated and controlled by them. And so they think that now we're on this even playing field and you should do as they would do because they've never been at the disadvantages that we have been at. They've never had our struggles. They've never had, they've never not been without representation and a voice and certain things. So to them, they don't even see where there's an issue. So because they don't see there's an issue, everything should just be equal and everything should just be as is. That's like one of the funniest things I always read on the internet is when white people get upset and go, if there was a white BET, black people would be screaming their heads off. And we always give the same answer, black people. There is. It's called every other channel. For a long time, black people weren't allowed on TV. And when we were allowed on TV, it was in demeaning, stereotypical roles that made us look bad. So, and all the people that control the stations, NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, all white people. I'm in this game. The white people that run the networks, the white people that run the studios, the people that are in the power positions are white folks. So we have no power, therefore we have no say. Most times we have no representation. So if we have something to call our own, black entertainment television, there's a reason behind that. There is a history behind that. And when you have a large level of white, I don't give a which means you don't even invest in the history as to why these things need to exist, then it's easy for you to be dismissive and naive and say stupid shit like that. What if black people had, they probably, if you had your own Oscars or something like that, and you didn't have, well, how often, we just once upon a time ago, were ready to boycott the Oscars because it was called, I think the hashtag was Oscars So White. Because again, all these beautiful black performances, artistic performances, are not even getting the recognition. So that's all I'm saying. So when we go, yeah, I'm a vote for the black woman. When have we ever had a female president? Never. When have we ever had a black female president? Never. This would be historical. It's time we get into history books. And like I said with Obama, okay, let us get the first one. Now, for the next one, I'll probably vote for the right reasons. But let's get the first one so that I can look my son in the face who's half black and go, hey, man, you don't got to be an athlete or a rapper to be somebody. You can be president of the United States. It is attainable. It's been done. So that's all.
I think the reason I say, I understand why, but I want more because things are changing, and they're changing not rapidly like tomorrow we're going to wake up and it's different, but it's changing enough where the decisions are being made in power positions that we have to make decisions now, not just based on race-based, but have more to it because the power players are not just white guys anymore in Hollywood. There are black power players now. And it's going to continue to change. So these changes are...
And that's recent.
Yeah, and so these change. But as it changes, you have to be as the pendulum is swinging, you have to be ready for the pendulum to swing. And that's by putting the better people, the best people that you can in position. That's all I'm saying about it. The reason why, I've always understood the reason why. I've never said to you, oh, that's not a good enough reason. I would like more reasons, but it's never been not a good reason. The way that I understood it the whole time. And white people don't understand it because they do have a plethora of choices.
And a lot of times they don't want to understand it.
It's not only not want, you have to want to understand it. If you just let life happen, you don't understand it. You have to want to understand. I have to, and this is the point of me on the podcast with me when I say I don't like both sides. I'm going to on both sides. I don't like things the way they are. I look at things from other perspectives, not just my own. I always want to understand the other perspective. That's why the only reason I see that perspective and understand the Band-Aid conversation that I just said. Because I understand that I have, even by default, not being the whitest of whites. I'm not bleach white. I'm the colors. There's black, colors, and then whites. I'm in the colors.
Right.
But I understand that I have multiple choices. Even who I am, I have multiple choices that you do not always have.
That's why we give you the corner pieces of the mac and cheese with the crunchy part.
I like
is.
that part. That's the
Because
good part.
That's why
That's the good part.
You in there? You in there, dog?
But you have to think. You have to want to know. But
Right.
also to the person that says white boy, and this is why it's important to me, because I want to think about that. I understand.
That's black anger.
Yeah,
white boy.
Yeah, but do you understand? Are you thinking about this is important? This is important, and I know you don't have to do this. You do not have to do this, but you're just. But with the conversation we have, white people have to understand. Black people have to kind of understand what a white dude is doing if they want to make that change, because you have to know. I forgot the guy's name. The Art of War.
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. Know your enemy. I'm not saying that white people are enemy, but if they have an agenda that is opposite of yours, you need to understand why they have that agenda.
And they don't even got to be your enemy, but if you understand them, then that gives you a better advantage in terms of figuring shit out.
That's all I've said since I've been on this podcast. Maybe not exactly that way. But that's
And
what
you
I'm
know,
saying.
it pisses me off too when minorities, like Latinos and certain other people of color, love to go with that talking. Like, it's like just certain either talking points or phrases. Oh, the victim. I read that a lot too on social media. When black people raise their voice or complain about what we go through, victim mentality. Again, how fortunate is it of you that as a person of color, you didn't endure what we endure? So to you, just like white people, there are some Latino people, Indian people, other people of color who go, basically, what's wrong? Stop complaining. You're playing victim because you were never the victims that we were.
Well,
you didn't endure what we endured. So you have that arrogance about yourself. But don't get it twisted. You are a person of pigmentation, which means that when the ass kickings come, you're somewhere in that pecking order.
Well, but see, this is where something gets lost also in this mix. You said right now, you named some things. The Native Americans aren't barely here anymore. So they endured it. They endured it and were practically wiped out. So they haven't.
Well, at least they got casinos. What we get?
They didn't get casinos for years. They were on desert plains.
Well, if it took them a while, it's taking us real long.
Yeah, but they were here. So they got that. If you study the history,
You know what the Native Americans said when they saw their land being taken from them? Hey, 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 hey. Oh, sorry.
So the Hispanic population, Mexican population, they endured, man. If you really study the history of what happened to them, it is underlined. People don't ever talk about it. When you talk about lynchings, the numbers are high as the blacks in this country. High.
Native Americans?
Yeah. No, Mexicans in this country. All the stuff that happened in
I'm
there.
not going to listen, I'm not going to doubt you, but my question is this. Why have we never seen these photos? The same way we see photos of black people lynched with mobs around them. If that is true, where are these photos?
I don't. Okay. So let's back up. Let me take a couple steps back. I don't know that it's ever been a picnic lynching that black people went through, which is sickening and it is disgusting. The fact that somebody could be hanging from a tree and there's a family having a picnic right around that thing. That to me is the ultimate. I don't even know how to express the hatred that I have for that in my head. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to even...
Bodies tied to a stump and charred and burned to death.
Well, but there's a picture that I can never get out of my mind with the kids that are just... You say to your kids, "Don't look at that. It's a rated R movie. Don't
The
look
kids
at that."
are going cheese.
But they're smiling as the picture as there's black men hanging from a tree.
Okay.
This is not something I can't, to be honest with you, and this is something this is why I always tend to not try to argue with you about when we get this deep into this, because I can't comprehend that. For whatever amount of white is in me, I'm embarrassed to my core. Like not embarrassed for myself.
And because you know that, and because you feel that, those words would never come out of your mouth. Oh, the victim mindset.
But when you see Hispanic people gone through this, Hispanic people have I'm going to say this about Mexican people. And I talk about my uncle a lot because my uncle's...
And I'm sorry, please keep your thought. I just want to say this while you're saying it, because we're saying this. To those Latino people that love to go the victim card, this is why I go, if those photos exist of Latino people being lynched and tortured, we need to see that. Because if their people know about it, like you know about it, and I don't think most of their people do, then you might slow your roll on that victim.
Well, but I think some of this is different. I can't explain completely why it's different, but I think a lot of mindset's different. First of all, Mexicans were here. This was, the Southwest was theirs. America happened to Mexicans. They became Americans because America happened to Mexico. So they were here. They had the wars. They had the problems that there was a war, the Mexican-American War. You think everybody was nice to Mexicans at that time that were living in this country? There was problems. There's been a lot of problems.
Where are the photos?
I guess I'll have to dig up some photos.
Please. I'm putting a sombrero in the air. Meet me on the roof like Commissioner Gordon to all the Latino listeners. If you know this is a part of your history, or you don't know it, but now you're hearing it, do your homework. Let me see the photos.
I can give you articles. I don't know that I have photos. I have articles that document it. But anyway, but let's go to this. But they have a different mentality here, where like I just can't. The family. I don't want to get into this way. Well, let's do an episode on this. I'll get some more information. We'll do it in a different way because I don't want this to be this versus that kind of argument. It's just America has a lot of issues with what's happened to the people here on this. And when
you say the people, you mean people of color.
I'm talking I think that they've had when I say issues, I'm talking all the people had the issues, because I think the white people that could sit there and have a sandwich while someone's hanging off a tree, they have some issues. There's some issues with those people. So when I say issues, for or against, good or bad, there's issues.
That's crazy.
I in my core, man, I can't even understand how you could do that. I can't understand how you would let your kid be. None of it. Like when I can't even get the sentence out because it doesn't register to me. I don't know, but those people still are there.
Well, their kids are grown now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still there.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't like to lean into when we're fighting these, but I have these things that I want to say about the whole picture because as I just said, it's issues all the way around.
Right. Well, that's gonna do it.
That we had two things.
I think we might discuss 4. See, that's what happens with these political and racial things. Once you pull on this thread, there's a lot of meat on the bone.
Dude, my neck hurts even from this one though. This one really it bothers me because it's so open and it's so wounded. And I understand how he feels. Like I understand how he feels, but this isn't about to me. Going back to what we said, it's not about Camilla. It's about like there's policy issues on that side that make me nervous.
Listen, I'm not trying to measure levels of disgusting, because at the end of the day, technically wrong is wrong. But again, when I have white people that argue with me and go, certain kinds of white people went through hell in this country too. Okay, I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying you're wrong. But to the level that we have, it's not even close. There was a time when they used to throw black babies in the alligator pits. There's a famous photo, I forget the woman's name, a black woman that's hanging from a rope over a bridge. Just before that woman hung, she was pregnant. They cut her stomach open, had the fetus come out, and then stomped on the fetus and heard it squeal. The shit that black people have endured in this country has been so viciously heinous. And again, I'm not trying to measure degrees of up, because at the end of the day, up is up. But when you tell me, the victim mentality, that it's such a dismissive that I can't stand. Because again, most of the people that say that, if you took the time to care, if you took the time to do the homework, if you took the time to invest, you're telling me the humanity in you, unless you are just heartless and soulless, the humanity in you wouldn't make you bag up and go, whoa, I've been wrong. I didn't get it. I didn't know the full scope of this shit. So now that I do, I'm going to be a little bit easy before I say victim mentality.
Okay, and just before the people who would hear this and say, oh, yeah, but victim mentality because that was years ago. This lady just got shot in the face 3 times for having a bowl of water.
What color was she?
Black.
Okay. We've been going through this a long time. And because it doesn't happen to you, a lot of Latinos, a lot of other brown people of color, Indians, whatever you are, you're desensitized. It doesn't bother you because it doesn't affect you. So it's easier for you to be dismissive and go, victim mentality. Oh, that was a long time ago. Because it ain't you. But we have a history of this. And it could be me. It could be my mother. It could be my sister. It could be someone I know, someone I love. So show some respect and watch your mouth.
And it could be me. I could accidentally be at the wrong party.
Or some and they catch you. Knew you gave that nigga the corner macaroni and cheese. That nigga, we wasted a cold corner of mac and cheese on this hunky.
Yes, we'll leave it there. We need to do an episode on this though, but
yeah,
a real one.
And I would like to do it with the ammunition of the people giving me some. Show me the footage, show me the pictures, give me something.
But if you live in this, if you grew up in the Southwest, you would have. It would have been more. You would have seen it a little bit differently than you do now. It's there. And I've kind of not pushed back on that a little bit, but I need to because it is there. But there is a difference, and I will get into that when we do this episode because it is.
Let's call this episode "Crunchy Corner of Mac and Cheese."
Okay, let me give you some dates. Jesus, we didn't put we didn't put those in there again. Sorry.
You know what, dude? That's habit, though. We're not used to doing it.
No, but I was trying to do it when we first got back to doing it, and putting the timer on. But it's just this one went quick. This one went far. All right, August 16th through the 18th, guys. We're going to be at Dania Beach in Florida, Improv. August 22nd to the 23rd, Stand Up Live in Phoenix, Arizona. August 24th, Rialto Theater in Tucson, Arizona. August 30th through September 1st at the Houston Improv. September 7th at the Complex in Salt Lake City, Utah. September 13th through the 14th, Hartford Funny Bone. September 20th to the 21st, we're going to be at the Improv in Kansas City, Missouri. September 26th to the 29th, Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California. October 4th, Royal Oak Music Theater in Michigan. October 5th, Apollo Theater in NYC. October 11th to the 13th, Improv in Orlando, Florida. October 17th, the Vancouver Playhouse in Canada. October 18th through the 20th, Spokane Comedy Club. October 25th through the 27th, the Improv in Tampa, Florida. October 31st through November 3rd, Chicago Improv. November 8th, Hawaii Theater in Honolulu.
There it is, baby.
That's a show.
Time to run some water across it.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsbergpod.com.